Moving on from Carson, there were so many rumors that came out, rumors upon rumors upon rumors. If you had to address why you thought Carson Wentz wasn't the right quarterback for your team in 2022, what would it be, you think? Like, what would be the because we've heard a lot of shit. I mean, and by the way, I watched every single game, and I don't know how his parents have watched him play football for his entire life. I almost had a heart attack every single play, honestly. And as somebody that has been, very fortunate enough to have a front row seat to a lot of very good football and listening to people talk about football that have very high football IQ, not that I do, the ball is the most important thing. The ball, the ball, the ball, the ball. And then next is like the health of the quarterback. And in my eyes, not saying you're saying this, but in my eyes, every play, he jeopardized both of those things. And it was like, that toughness was amazing. It's commendable. It's admirable. It's like, hey, that is awesome. And his great moments were incredible. But it felt like every single play, there was a chance we're going to lose the $30 million quarterback and we're going to lose the ball on it. And it's just like, was that what it was inevitably? What do you think? It just wasn't the right fit? What do you think it was looking into the 2022 season, why you moved on from Carson?
Yeah, that's it. And look, Carson, like all the rumors and all that crap out there, Carson played good football for us. At 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, he played, good football for us. And there's a point when we were, and unfortunately, through, missing all of training camp with the foot, and then, starting the season off as slow as we did to finally get our footing and go 9-6. And then the end of the way it did. And unfortunately, it ended the way it did. So when we started talking about, okay, what's the short term and long term, were we willing to, at the end of the day, stick with Carson? Yeah, we had talked about that. But then when we had a chance to move him, sometimes it's good. I heard somebody say this, and I did think this was good. To move away from the family can be good, because he had been in Philly, then he'd been with Frank. I think sometimes to get out of your comfort zone can be really good for a player, and I think it's going to be good for Carson. And I think it's going to be good for him, and I think he'll do really good things. And for us, it was just a matter of we needed to find somebody that we really thought was a really good fit here, both in the short and the long term. Not that it didn't. It just sometimes it just doesn't work.
So whenever you make that decision to move on from, because you guys had to do a bunch of interviews. Frank had to do interviews. Yeah. You had to do interviews. And the answer was, we're going to do what's best for the Colts. We're going to do what's best for the Colts. Were you guys still in that process? Were you still in the decision-making process trying to figure out what was actually best for the Colts? And you weren't trying to give or deceive anybody or whatever you were talking like that. Now, was this I assume this was a very difficult decision to make whenever you're talking about the trigger man of a $1 billion operation.
It's really hard, and he played, good football. So, and he's a good person. I mean, it was a really difficult decision, and there were some tough moments, tough conversations. But at the end of the day, we thought, we did what we thought was the best thing for us.
All right, so let's talk about it. Moving on from Carson. Whenever you made that decision, the backup, I don't want to say the backup plans, but the plans for who was then going to become the quarterback for this team that has been very talented. I mean, incredibly built, very talented team. Did you have options? Did you have ideas? Were you waiting to see how things shaped up? What was the mindset when you trade Carson to the Commanders?
I just thought we'd kind of wing it. And
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. Yeah.
No, I mean, when we made the decision, ultimately to trade Carson, we knew there was going to be a little bit of panic mode going in, just knowing that, we had some question marks at the position, but we also knew that there was going to be some options out there. And if we were just patient and let the thing play out, we thought it would work out for us. And we feel like we got a little lucky with getting Matt Ryan in the building. Feel very fortunate.
How has it been with getting Matt Ryan in the building? Also, like from when you first started talking to him and he realized that Indy is an option, how was he? Was he receptive?
Yeah, he was really good. And the Falcons were great. Atlanta was tremendous through this entire process. And I think it was good for both parties. I think it was good both, for the Falcons as they, start. They got a new regime and, really quality coaches and people. And, it was time for them to, to get moving forward with their new plan. And they knew that we had avoided the position, so it made it work. And then talking to Matt, it was a lot like when we talked to Phillip, where, you're getting a guy that wants to win, is driven to win. We think he's got a lot left in his career. He's really smart, takes care of his body, does all the right things. And we think he's going to add, a piece to us that's going to help us.